What's up guys, Musi Gamer here. I'm bringing back the SAD videos. I haven't done one in a good while, and I thought, well, I'm in a new place, in a new city, and I mean, it's a very easy place to get anxious socially, so I thought, well, it's not a bad time to bring it back, so I'm bringing it back. So for those who don't know, because I know I got like 70 subscribers ever since I started doing live streaming. I got like 70 subscribers in the last week or two. So I know there are a lot of new people here who might not know as much about me, but for those who don't know, I've been diagnosed with something called social anxiety disorder, which is basically extreme shyness and introversion. Basically, social situations really freak me out. If I don't know people, or if I don't know exactly what to do, then I get freaked out. I get extremely nervous and anxious and just flustered. I'm just terrified, basically. And I know there's tons of people in the world who are just like me, who suffered from this, and maybe they were like how I was when I first started realizing it. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I was just one person and that it was only me that this was happening to, but once I started researching and finding out what social anxiety is, I was like, oh, so there's actually a lot of people in the world who share this disorder that I have. And so with this series, I kind of like to just try to help people out who also have social anxiety or any other kind of like illness, like depression, maybe bipolar, I'm not sure. Whatever ails you, I try to help you with. But today, I just wanted to kind of talk about, I know a lot of people who have a certain thing like social anxiety or depression, and they let that hold them back. They let that keep them from doing anything because they think that having that immediately halts their possibilities in the world. They think it's a barrier and they don't see them getting past it. And today I just kind of want to say you should never do that. Never see your disorder or your illness or whatever, never see it as just a threatening force that you can't get past. See it more as an obstacle or a challenge, one that you just have to find a way around in order to do what you want to do. A little bit of psychology for you. Seeing something as a threat rather than as just a challenge will immediately make your brain think it's going to be harder to overcome, it's going to be more difficult, it's going to require more work. But if you see it as a challenge, your brain is going to want to overcome that because it sees it as a non-threatening, simply as a challenge. And that can go with anything. If you're taking a math test and you think, I'm really scared, I'm gonna get an F, this is gonna be terrible, if I get an F I'm gonna fail. If you go in thinking like that, thinking it's a threat and thinking all negatively, you're not gonna do good on that test. But if you go in thinking, alright, I just gotta get a B at least, I just gotta get a B, that's all I gotta do. If I get a B, I'll be golden. I'll have a good grade for the end of the semester and I'll be good. If you go in like that, thinking it's a challenge rather than a threat, you're immediately setting yourself up for success. And that goes the same way with disorders, with social anxiety, depression, all that. You can't let it hold you back from doing what you want to do. Say you want to be maybe a comedian, but social anxiety holds you back, that huge amount of stage fright that you'll have. But you know in your heart that being a comedian is what you want to do. Don't let social anxiety stop you from doing that, because if it's your dream, if it's really what you want to do, you should never let anything hold you back from that. Start out small, maybe just do some little mini shows for family and friends, or maybe start posting like stand-up comedy videos on YouTube where people can't upfront judge you and you can't see an actual audience, but people will be seeing you and seeing what you can do, how funny you are, and then slowly progress up to the level of having an audience in front of you telling them jokes and then succeeding, or whatever it is you want to do. There's numerous things that might seem very hard, very challenging, and near impossible for people with social anxiety, depression, all that sort of stuff, but you shouldn't let that bring you down. You can do it if you really set your mind to it, and if you don't let those ailments keep you down. There's actually a surprisingly large amount of people throughout history and today who suffer from social anxiety and have done so much for the world. Of course, back then, social anxiety disorder, nobody thought that was a thing. People just thought, oh, they're just quiet. That's really all they would think about. They didn't know all this intricacies about the brains. But historians who look back now at those people's lives and see how they were described, a lot of people are hypothesizing that certain people in history actually had like social anxiety, bipolar disorder, depression, all that stuff. I'll throw an example at you. Orville Wright of the Wright brothers, who built the first airplane and took off and did all that, we all know. But Orville Wright is actually supposed to be extremely shy. He was described as being the extreme shy of the two. The other brother was actually pretty outgoing, but Orville was extremely shy. He hated being in front of crowds and audiences. He was extremely nervous about it a lot. And so the other brother was actually the spokesperson for the two, because Orville could just not handle being in front of an audience. And his family often described him as being extremely nervous around new people, and only being comfortable, only being like noticeably comfortable and acting as himself around family, friends, and like well-known people. And those are all really big symptoms of social anxiety. Another person was Albert Einstein. He was supposedly very, very shy when he was young. He kind of grew out of it, which some people do from time to time. But his family described him as being a lonely child, as just being very nervous about meeting new friends, people his age, all that stuff. Brian Wilson, one of the biggest musical influences in the world, the leader basically of the Beach Boys. He also was very socially anxious, and he had depression, and I think he had bipolar disorder also. Brian Wilson was even afraid to go outside and just be outside around other people. He was terrified of that. He was terrified of big crowds. He was terrified of audiences. He had massive stage fright. And it shows in a lot of his songs that he was this very shy person, very introverted, very socially anxious. Some modern examples, going back to the comedian Daniel Tosh, the host of Tosh.0, he actually, believe it or not, has social anxiety disorder. He is, or was, I'm not sure if he still is, but he was, when he was first starting out as a comedian, he was extremely shy, extremely nervous about going on stage and performing in front of people. He's done interviews where he's talked about it, how he would overcome his fears and his anxieties and go out on stage and perform his heart out, be hilarious, and then that's how he rose to stardom, despite having social anxiety. Some more modern examples, Johnny Depp is supposed to have social anxiety. I think I saw that Renee Zellweger was also diagnosed with it. I think I even heard before that Jim Carrey was really shy as a kid. But basically, why I'm telling you all these examples is to show you that even though all these people have or were supposed to have social anxiety, it doesn't mean they let that hold them back from achieving great things. A lot of those people, Albert Einstein, Orville Wright, and tons of others, have done amazing things for the human race, and they've suffered with social anxiety in their life. They didn't let it hold them back though. They kept charging forward, even though it terrified them to talk to people, to even go outside and be around other people they didn't know, or be in front of people. They still charged ahead and did what they wanted to do, did what they loved, and ended up changing the world because of it, making the world an awesome, great place. And you shouldn't let social anxiety hold you back from doing the same. You can do whatever you set your mind out to do. But if you let social anxiety or depression or whatever, if you let that take control of you, if you let that hold you down from doing all these great things that you want to do, you're never going to get anywhere in life that you want to be. It's perfectly okay to be socially anxious. There's nothing wrong with you. It just means you were born in a certain way that other people aren't necessarily born. But you shouldn't hate yourself because of that. You shouldn't let that keep you down. You're an amazing person no matter what. If you're depressed, if you're socially anxious, you shouldn't hate yourself because of that. You're a beautiful person and you're amazing, and hating yourself is just a very bad way to go. If you hate yourself, you're not going to allow yourself to do the great things you want to do. And if you let social anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, if you let that hold you back, you're just not going to be able to achieve those dreams. So all I'm trying to say is, don't let it hold you back. It's okay that you're socially anxious, or it's okay that you're depressed. You just need to accept it and realize that you have some challenges and some obstacles that other people might not have. But you should not let that keep you from challenging those obstacles straight on, face to face, and achieving those dreams and those goals that you have for yourself. And that's really what I wanted to say in this video. And I think I've said it all. So I'm Music Gamer. Hope you enjoyed, and remember not to let yourself get held back. And don't hate yourself. That's not a good thing to do. Anyways, I'm Musi Gamer, and I will see you in the future. Goodbye now.